In this part of the course you will be learning about the main GameMaker interface. The first thing you will notice when opening a project or creating a new one is the buttons along the top of GameMaker and the list of resources down the left side. The buttons along the top allow you to quickly create resources, run your game, open and save projects, and access game settings. The first button on the far left allows you to start a new project. Clicking this will open the new project window. The second button allows you to open a project. Clicking it will bring up Windows Explorer, allowing you to browse for the project you wish to open. The third button allows you to save your project. Clicking it will bring up a progress bar or two while GameMaker saves. The fourth button allows you to create an executable copy of your game. Clicking it now will display a message telling you your game needs at least one room. I will show you how to create a room later on. The button shaped like a green triangle will run your game. The button shaped like a red triangle allows you to run your game in debug mode. This is just like running it normally, except you are presented with another window to watch certain aspects of your game while it runs. The button that looks a bit like a red power button or stop sign stops the web server. You won't need this when creating a game for Windows. The button shaped like a broom clears the asset cache. You probably won't need this, but if you ever have issues running your game, click this button and try again. The ninth button is the first of the resource creation buttons. It is shaped kind of like a green Pac-Man. This button allows you to create sprites for your game. A sprite is the base of any game. They are basically the graphics of your game. These can hold animations or static images. There will be more on this later on. The second of the resource buttons is for creating sounds. Clicking this will create a sound resource. From there you can load sounds into your game for later use. The third of the resource creation buttons is for making backgrounds. This can be set up as backgrounds for your game levels. The fourth of the resource buttons will create a path. Paths allow you to create pathways and have an object follow it during your game. The fifth of the resource creation buttons creates a script. A script is a piece of code that any object in the game can access and run. They can be very helpful when multiple objects are meant to behave the same way. Objects will be explained soon. No prior programming knowledge is required for this course. You will learn how to write code and how it works in GameMaker Studio later on. The sixth of the resource buttons is for creating shaders. Shaders allow you to manipulate what is drawn to the screen in real time, creating complex graphical effects, making them one of the coolest features of any game engine. The seventh of the resource buttons is for creating fonts. These are used in drawing text in GameMaker. The eighth resource button is for creating timelines. Timelines can execute certain actions over times that you set. The ninth resource button is for creating objects. Objects are the most important part of any GameMaker game. They hold most, if not all, code in your game and draw sprites to the screen. The 10th and final resource button creates a new room. A room is like a level in your game, and you must have at least one to even play your game. Rooms hold all objects and allow you to place objects where you want inside them. Basically, no room, no game. In this sense, GameMaker differs from all other game engines, both 2D and 3D. The next button brings up the global game settings. These settings are separate for each project. The next button, shaped as a green plus symbol, allows you to install and activate extension packages that you may have downloaded. The final button shows a green circle with a question mark. This brings up the GameMaker help file, where you can find information on nearly all things included in GameMaker Studio. To the right of all the buttons we just walked through, there is a drop-down list labeled Target. Click the arrow and you will be shown all your available target platforms. Changing this will make GameMaker run your game and export to the target you choose. In the free version, you will only have 3 targets available. If you have purchased extra export modules, then these will be shown here. To the right of the target drop-down list, you can see another one labeled Configuration. Configurations in GameMaker make it easy to quickly switch between different splash screens, icons, and included files. That sums up the main toolbar. However, you may have noticed the resource tree on the left of the main GameMaker window. When creating resources, they will show under the relevant groups. Sprites will show up the top group labeled Sprites. Objects will show in the group labeled Objects, and so on. You can create your own groups to keep things more organized. To do this, simply right-click somewhere in the group that you wish to make your own group in and choose the Insert Group option. You can then name your group and add resources to it. Always keep your projects as organized as possible. This makes working on games a lot easier, especially when they include hundreds of different resources. You should keep your resources grouped in categories, for example enemies or ground objects. In this video we learn about the main interface of GameMaker Studio. You should now be able to create and organize resources for your games.